every time I try and do a polished podcast, the words come out in such a jumble. It just never works, so forgive me. You've got a really awkward podcast again. Hello, welcome to episode 28 of the Eldenwood Craft podcast. My name's Emma and this is my corner of the internet where I share with you all the things that I've been making over the last few weeks. Today is Sunday the 9th of August and you are very welcome to join me. A big thank you if this is your first time visiting, or if it's your 28th time visiting, well done, or anything in between. It's really great to have you here, thank you. You can find me online as Eldenwood Craft in all the usual places. My website is eldenwoodcraft.com and that has links to most of the key places that you can find me. It houses my project bag shop. It will take you through to Instagram and to my podcast. I'm not sure if there's a link actually to Ravelry, but I'll have a look at that and see. Maybe actually, given everything that's going on with Ravelry at the moment, a link to Ravelry isn't necessarily the best thing. Anyway, it's been a little bit of a long time again, probably a couple of months I think since I last podcast. It's been a bit of a time. We're still in the throes of coronavirus. Things are easing here in the UK. Not 100% sure how I feel about that. I know we've got to get on with life, but to what cost? I don't know. Anyway, it's the middle of the school holidays and it's really hot today. I have tried all sorts of different spots today to record and have retreated to the bedroom. My bedroom to sit by the window. This is about the coolest place I could find that wasn't outside. I didn't fancy recording outside because the neighbours are in their garden and that would be a little bit awkward, or more awkward than it normally is, me recording and talking to my camera. Anyway, yeah, so it's been a bit of a time. I've not really had the brain space to cope with recording a podcast, as well as all the other things that life has been throwing at us recently. The day job is hard going, family life has had its ups and downs, and yeah, the podcast was the thing that had to make way for, had to make way. Anyway, I'm here today. I wanted to record today because it would be a few weeks before I got the opportunity again, and I didn't want to leave it any longer. And actually, now that I've sat down and got everything sorted, it's really good to be here. Before I get started on the knitting content, I just wanted to acknowledge a couple of issues that have been going on in the world since I last recorded. The first is the Black Lives Matter movement. All I wanted to say on this really is, firstly, that this podcast is absolutely a safe and inclusive place. Everybody is welcome, and I am trying to continue to educate myself around the issues of anti-racism and white supremacy, and I have just started to read this book here, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, by REnni, Eddo, Lodge. Literally just a couple of pages into it, but I'm really hoping that that will help my understanding of the issues, and I've heard some really good things about this book, about how useful it is, so I'm hoping that that will help. The other issue is Ravelry. If you're not aware, Ravelry has very recently updated its website, and those updates caused some significant health problems for a significant number of individuals, and Ravelry were at best slow to respond and at worst dismissive of some of those the things that people had been saying. They have since made a statement, an apology, I believe, and have said that they will be taking steps to rectify what has happened. I think that's right. We will see whether that's enough, whether it's too little too late, or who knows where it will go. I will comment a little bit more on Ravelry as we get to a relevant point in this podcast, but I just wanted to say that if anyone is affected by Ravelry's changes and you can't access the site and want some information on any of my projects that I would ordinarily put onto my Ravelry project pages, then please do get in touch with me, and I'm very happy to give you that information directly. Okay, on to some admin. So we are coming up to, we're well into quarter 3 of the Eldenwood Craft Make 9 for 2020. I have, as usual, been a poor presence in the Ravelry pages. There's nothing like being consistent, is there? But thank you to everybody who continues to chat away and to post their finished objects in the threads. The quarter 2 winner, so we are, okay, so on to some admin before I share some knitting with you. We are well into quarter 3 now of the Eldenwood Craft Make 9 for 2020. I have, as usual, been a poor presence in the Ravelry pages. I am sorry for that, and there's nothing like consistency, is there? You would expect nothing less from me, but a big thank you to everyone who continues to chat away and to post their finished objects. I have drawn for the latest prize, so that's the quarter 2 winner. Just looking at my notes here. It was for posts 40 to 63. The prize there's a choice of prizes this time. Given so I was planning on doing a Ravelry pattern prize, but given the problems there, I've got a choice of prizes. So the prize winner today can choose from either a Ravelry pattern to be gifted to them of their choice up to the value of £10, or a bag from Made by Me for you. We can talk about the style, size, fabric. I will make what you want, really, within reason and within capability. And so the lucky winner of the quarter 2 prize was post 50, and that was Sarah, who is Sarah One Daisy. And Sarah, I think you have won a prize already in a previous Make 9, possibly last year. So congratulations, Sarah. Get in touch with me. I know you know how to, and we will talk about what prize you would like. Sarah's post 50, was a project that was meant to be a jumper, but turned out to be a macrame plant hanging thingy, which made me laugh when I saw the post, Sarah. It was really nice. I'm very impressed with your macrame. Anyway, so yeah, Sarah, get in touch with me. In terms of where we go from here with the Make 9 for the rest of the year, and given the Ravelry problems, what I will do, the same that many other podcasters are doing, is to extend the finished object thread into Instagram. So if you're not able to access Ravelry, then please do post your finished objects on Instagram using the hashtag ECMNFO2020. All the details will be or the hashtag will be down in the description box below, along with, I should have said, all the show notes and links to all the places you can find me. They'll all be down there. So, on to the knitting. I've got a big box of finished objects down here to show you. Over the last few months I've become a bit of a project knitter rather than a process knitter. I don't know if it's anything to do with lockdown, very possibly, but I have been working pretty much exclusively on one project at a time, finishing that and then casting on something new, and I've really enjoyed working in that way. I've found possibly that I'm getting through projects a little bit quicker, even though I've found my actual knitting time not to be quite as abundant. Well, it never was abundant, but you know, I don't feel like I've had as much knitting time as I usually would do. Whether we'll stay like that, I don't know. But anyway, it's helped me have a significant number of finished objects for you, which is really exciting. So I will start off with, I'm just going to dip in and pick out what comes out, but I'm going to start with this pair of socks. These are the umbrella socks, a pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. The yarn was knit in a Back to Blighty sock set. There was 50 grams of the main colourway, which is Albatross, and 20 grams of the contrast that I've used for the cuffs, heels and toes. I can't remember what the colourway of this was, but it's absolutely glorious. Really love that sort of tealy blue. There's the second one, a true finished object. So the pattern is, if you're not aware of it, the pattern is Kay's pattern for a toe-up sock. She normally knits cuff down, but wanted to have a go at a toe-up sock using her umbrella toe and knitting in an afterthought heel in the same pattern as her umbrella toe. And a lot of people have said that they found this to be a really good fit. Kay's patterns are always really well written. This is the second or third, I think, that I have knit from Kay, and I really like using her patterns. They're always really well explained. So I would recommend it as a pattern. I have to say I still prefer a heel flap and gusset for my socks, but it's always worth trying these new heels. I just find a heel flap and gusset fits me really nicely. I had a little bit of yarn left over from the 50 gram set. See if I can find the right bag. Yeah, so I had that much yarn left over from the 50 grams, which is quite a significant amount. That's a nice 20-25 grams, I'd say, which will be going into my crochet blanket. But yeah, nice new pair of socks ready for the autumn. Shall I show you? This is what I've got left of the 20 gram mini. A nice little nugget. There we go. Right, so project number one done and dusted. Next project, I've got another pair of socks in here. I will show you this next. These are literally hot off the needles today, this morning. I couldn't sleep last night. It was so hot and sticky and I kept waking up, and so I came downstairs quite early to finish these off in the cool of the living room. I opened the doors into the garden and let the fresh air come in. It was lovely. And so that helped me get a new pair of Rose City rollers off the needles. And again, there's the second. So Rose City rollers, I've spoken about these before. I've knit a few pairs of these now. It's a pattern by Mara Catherine Bryner. And the yarn I have used this time is a West Green Loft yarns. I've had this probably about 3 or 4 years, I can't quite remember. It was a mystery yarn club. Vicky at West Green Loft Yarns put a picture up on Instagram, her inspiration picture, and this was something to do with summer days and apples and trees, and I just fancied it. I don't normally like mysteries, but something obviously it struck a chord with me, this one. And there we go, it's really pretty, isn't it? You don't often find me knitting with pink either, so again, always good for a first. But the yarn itself is just stunning. There's all sorts of different colours in there. There's pinks and greens and yellows and golds. I really enjoyed knitting with this, and the contrast colour picks up one of the colours in here as well. It's really lovely. Where's my yarn gone? Just wanted to show you what was left. Is it in here? No, I don't know what. Oh, it's on my knee. So I've got that left of the 100-gram skein. You can see all those beautiful colours. And I have a good chunk of the 20-gram contrast left. Really nice. There they are together. So that, I don't know what I'll do with the rest of that. I'll find something to do with it. So yeah, those are my Rose City rollers. So we'll put those away for the autumn as well. Right, next project. I'm rattling through these. Another small one. I've shown you this before when it was being made. This is my Brooklime hat. I absolutely love it. Colourwork hat, obviously. Just look at, I'm so pleased with the colourwork on this. It wasn't a hard knit. It took concentration the whole way through, or certainly, you know, that chunk of it where the colourwork is. But I'm so pleased with the finished object, and I love the crown shaping. Isn't that gorgeous? The yarn I used is Bar-Ram U Pip colourway. The colours themselves, I have got the ball bands. So there's the label, and the colourways are Crucible, Viking and Eccup. I'm not 100% sure which is which, but it's easy enough to find out if you search for Pip colourway online. They still produce the same range of yarns, and in fact they've extended their range in the Pip to include some really nice neutrals, and I have got an idea for a hat in my head using the same cast on, using the same pattern as a basis for hat numbers and things. Oh, I'm not explaining this very well. Anyway, I want to use their neutrals in a hat pattern. It's not going to be an amazing pattern, it's certainly not something that I would publish, but just a stripy thing. But yeah, I really want to use their neutrals in a hat. I'm not going to put this on, it is far too hot today. I am already sweltering despite the fact that I'm sat by an open window. So yeah, you'll just have to believe me when I say it fits really nicely. I have toyed with the idea of putting a pom-pom on, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. I might pop a removable one on, but actually I just quite like I quite want to let the colourwork speak for itself. Anyway, there we go, that's it. A little bit of yarn left over, so 3 balls of 25 grams each. That's what I've got left of the grey, and this is what I have left of the blue and the orange. And they're only about, can't remember the exact price of those skeins of yarn, but they're about £3 each, something like that. So I've got a really nice hat for about £9. Really pleased, can't wait for the winter. Okay, rattling through the projects. On to my two bigger items. One of them you have seen before. I'll show you that one first. This is my Pure Joy shawl. So this is a pattern by, oh, I should say the hat is a pattern by Rachel Coopey for bar ram units, and it's called the Brooklime Hat. Okay, so Pure Joy, this is a pattern by Locatelli. It's a two skein, two colour shawl. These are the two colours that I used. We've got, this is a Mr. B yarn. I forget the colourway name. Have I got the ball band? Yes, I have. Oh yeah, so this is Just Rust by Mr. B, and this is Nutmeg by Owl About Yarn. Lovely colours. So that's what I've got left, and this is the finished article. I don't know how easy it will be to show you. I'm going to stand up. You get an idea. So it starts at this end, and you can see it pans out all the way. It's huge. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. It's huge. It's going to be really lovely and squishy and warm in the winter months. And I am just in love with how these two skeins play together. That nutmeg is beautiful, and it really picks out some of the rusty colours in the Mr. B yarn. So pleased with it. So pleased with it. The end rows, you finish off on this nutmeggy section. Those rows were so long. They were so long. I thought they would never end. However, they obviously did. The bind off, I can't remember how long that took me, but it was a long time. Quite painful. But I really like the finished object. I've thought about whether I'd make another one of these. I really, really like the shawl, and I would love another one, but I don't know that I could. I don't know. Maybe I will one day, but not immediately. Just the thought of that long final section probably does put me off a little bit. But yeah, I really like it, and it wears really nicely. It's a really easy shape. This sort of long sweeping shape is a really easy shape to wear. So yeah, my Pure Joy shawl. Put that away. Right, oh, I just had to take a bit of a heat break there. I was glowing a little bit. So, on to my final finished object for today, and it's another shawl. We have some familiar names in this again. It's another Mr. B yarn shawl, and it's another Locatelli pattern. Let me just get the leftover yarns out to show you. Wind this skein back up, and this one. So I finished this a couple of weeks ago. It took me a couple of months to make. These are the 3 colour yarns that I used in the pattern. So the colourways are, one is Graphite, one is Slate, and one is, I'm just trying to find the other ball band, Inkwell. So the white, that one is Inkwell. It's got some really delicate speckles in there. And one is Slate and one is Graphite. I can't remember which one is which, but I'm imagining that's Slate and that's Graphite, but it could be the other way round. And the pattern is the Evolve shawl by Locatelli. It's from their their latest or Joji and Vera Valamaki's latest interpretations book. I believe it's interpretation 6, but I might be a number off that. And I had wanted to knit this shawl from the moment that I saw it. It was a really, I just loved the imagery and the photography that they presented in their interpretations book. And I had my heart set on making it from the moment that I saw it. And then when I saw Mr. B had put the that 3 set of skeins together in like a shawl pack for this particular shawl, I jumped at the chance to cast on. It's hot, I'm not explaining very well, sorry. Anyway, I'm going to stand up again and show you this because it's another huge shawl. It's not going to show very well. Let me do it this way. So you cast on down here with the white, and you can see it's a really lovely textured pattern, and it pans out, it evolves, hence the name, into, excuse me, wider and wider repeats of the pattern. And then you introduce your second colour. This colour really picks up the textured pattern really nicely. And then you introduce the third colour. Oh, look, it matches. And the pattern repeats, it evolve even further. Can't really see that very well, it's a little bit see-through, but yeah, it's really lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed knitting this. The pattern layout in the book wasn't great. There are loads and loads, it's a charted pattern, there are loads of charts for this, and they were spread over different pages, so it did make reading the pattern initially quite tricky, but you get used to it. If you want the pattern, if you want the project that much, you'll just put up with that. And eventually I got so into the pattern itself that actually I didn't need the charts, and by the time I was on this dark grey section, I really was knitting it without the pattern at all. It hasn't been blocked yet. I haven't had the energy to block this as yet, but it will get blocked eventually. The one thing that I'm not happy about with it, it's quite a tricky shape to wear. Now in the pattern book, Joji wears it slung over her shoulders and very elegant, and she looks amazing in it. It's not quite my style, and so I've sort of played around with the best way to wear it. I think I found the right way, but I'm going to block it out a bit, and it's too hot to show you now how it might look, but I think I'm just going to wrap it round my front and sort of tuck it in a bit scarfish. I don't know. I'll have a play with it when it's not quite so warm and show you. But it is quite an unusual shape. It's very wide at one end and obviously very narrow at the other. So there are ways of wearing it, but normally I just like to wear a shawl or a scarf, excuse me, wrapped round and tied in a fancy knot, not a fancy knot, a stylish knot. And you can't really do that with this, so I will find a way. I've got some yarn in my throat, some fluff in my throat. Anyway, yeah, so this is it. I was really pleased. I enjoyed the knit and I wanted the shawl. I love the yarn. I particularly love the two greys. They look fab. And I'd never knit with a really dark yarn before, and I was a little bit wary about it because I'd heard people say how it can be a little bit difficult, but I had no problem. Really, really lovely yarns. Thank you, Mr. B, for that. Right. that is all my finished objects. That leaves me with just one whip on the needles, and I will show that to you now. Just pick it up off the floor. If you are a previous viewer of the podcast, you will have seen this before. It's the errata sweater, a fingering weight sweater by, the pattern is by Jennifer Steingass, and it's a Colourwork sweater. I'm really pleased with Colourwork. I showed this to you in my last episode. I had knit the body and I needed to start the sleeves. I've only really just picked this up again because of all the other stuff that I've been knitting, and I've started the first sleeve. As you can see, I've just started on the decreases. I'm doing that thing where you mark your decreases. I don't know if you can see the little bulb stitch markers, where you mark your decreases with stitch markers, and then when you go on to work on the second sleeve, you can mirror, you know exactly where your decreases need to happen because you've already marked them out. So yeah, if you remember on my last podcast, I was a little bit ambivalent about this sweater. I tried it on again fairly recently, and I think I might be changing my mind about it. I quite rather like it now, actually. It's nice, it's lightweight, and I think it'll be a really nice piece for the autumn to wear with a little vest underneath. So yeah, I will be finishing the sleeves on this. Quite looking forward to being on Sleeve Island. I like it there. I will take a little cocktail with me and a podcast or two, and we'll knit away on those sleeves. The yarn I'm using is the Arwetta Classic by Phil Kalana in the colours Red Squirrel, and I can't remember what the grey is called, but it's like their grey mix. It's a really interesting heathered kind of colourway. I shouldn't think this will show really clearly at all, but there are it's quite nice tonal heathered kind of mix. So yeah, that is my one whip on the needles. I have got my next project lined up. Just trying to see where it is, over there. We're about to go on a break, family break, soon, and I will be taking this project with me. It's the Schnee shawl by Melanie Berg. I have not got a picture of it to show you. I will pop a picture on screen now so that you can see. It's a lace weight shawl, big rectangular shawl that I think will be really lovely and light and airy, and I quite like a lace weight shawl. I am at that time in life where the hot flushes catch you unawares, and so lace weight shawls can be I like wearing a lace weight shawl. So when I saw this, sorry, the camera just stopped recording. So what I was saying was, yeah, I like wearing a lace weight shawl, and so when I saw a picture of this new pattern on Melanie Berg's Instagram feed, I thought that's the shawl for me. It took me a long time to work out what yarn I was going to knit it in. The shawl itself uses shibui, I can't remember so it's basically 2 lace weight yarns knit in alternating bands of 2 yarns held together, followed by a band of mohair. Pattern used shibui silk cloud as the mohair, which by all accounts is stunningly beautiful, but it's also really expensive, and I couldn't really justify using that. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of mohair. I don't like the fact that it sort of gets in all your passages and it can be a little bit irritating and sheds on your clothes. So what I ended up doing was going with this yarn, which is a lace weight yarn. Is that the one? It's from Isager, which I think is a Danish brand, and this is their Alpaca 1, and it's a it's 100% alpaca. You can possibly see there is still a little bit of a halo on the yarn itself, which you get with alpaca, and I thought what I would just do is hold it double where the pattern asks for the two yarns to be held together, and hold it single for the bands where the mohair would be, and that will give a very barely differentiated line or set of stripes that you will see. So we'll see how that goes. Is there someone out there? I think there might be someone standing outside the door. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So we'll see. I really like the colour. It's colour number 16. I can't remember if it had a name, but I think that would be really nice. Very me. So that is the project for holiday. I'm not sure how far I will get with it. I have a funny feeling I'm probably going to be doing more reading than I will be knitting on holiday. So that's it for the knitting content. Actually, no, it's not. I've got some things to show you just sat over here. Let me bring these in. So I will do a little acquisition section for you because I've got some really nice stuff in actually over the last couple of weeks really. The first is to show you some yarn I bought from Lay Family Yarns. Kelly and Nick were having a big update. They'd introduced some new lines and some new colourways, and although I don't need the yarn, it's always nice to support your favourite dyers, and when I saw some of the new colourways I thought these will make some really nice shawls. So here are my first thing to show you. This one here is Industrial Heritage, and this one here is my favourite colour, is Autumn. Aren't they lovely? You can see that the orange is picked up in the Industrial Heritage, or the autumnal colours. So that's Lay Family Yarn. They're both 75-25 superwash merino nylon with 425 metres per 100 grams. Really pleased with those. Lay Family Yarns are both lovely people, and B, amazing dyers. So I shall look forward to casting something on with those. I'm not sure what. I have no project in mind. I will just sit and look at them for a little while. I also picked up from them this skein of undyed silky yak. It's 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% yak. I've already got a skein of this from Lay Family Yarn, and I wanted a second one so I could make a bigger project. Again, I don't know what, but I just love the yak base. I love the tone, the silky feeling. Yeah, really nice. So 3 skeins of yarn from Lay Family Yarns. The other thing that I was lucky enough to come by, there is one of my friends on Instagram, Concetta Prella, makes the most beautiful project bags. She goes by the name of Butternut Handmade on Etsy, and she is Concetta Prella on Instagram. And I've long admired Concetta's bags. She uses really lovely fabrics, and she has started hand printing her own fabric, and I've often thought how much I would like one of those bags, and I was lucky enough that Concetta got in touch, or I can't remember if she got in touch or we were talking anyway, and a swap has come out of it, and I have to say I think I'm very much the winner in this regard. So Concetta sent me recently a couple of her hand printed project bags. The first is this one, which is a lovely little notions pouch, and Concetta prints these circles, and if you can see, she also hand stitches around them. Isn't that beautiful? And on the back, this really nice fabric. But that wasn't all. There was also this stunning piece of work, this lovely big project bag, and again all the green dots Concetta printed, and you can see that again that she has hand stitched around them. Really lovely. And inside just a nice neutral lining. So it's really well made, and I very strongly suggest you have a look at Concetta's Etsy shop, because she really does make really beautiful project bags. So there's her little cardigan, button-up handmade on Etsy. Thank you, Concetta, if you're watching. I absolutely love those, and your bags will be with you very soon. I promise. They are wrapped and ready to go. Right, another little heat break there. I'm very hot now. The final thing I want to show you just quickly, I signed up a couple of months ago for the for a mini skein club from Beaches and Birdsong, and it's her Nature Trail Minis Club. There's an no, that's not her card, sorry. What you get each month is a couple of 20-gram mini skeins, a little treat, and something like a project progress keeper type thing. And I've had 2 months worth so far, and I just wanted to share the yarns with you that have come in, because they are beautiful. Here they are. I can't remember which came in which month. There was one for June, one for July, and I've got August to come, I think. Or no, June, it's July, August and September, so I've had the first 2 months. They're really lovely. I don't know quite what I'll do with them. They will go, they actually would make some really nice socks all together, wouldn't they? So maybe that's what I'll do. And what I was showing you was just the little information slip that comes with each month. It's really lovely. It's just a lovely treat to have through the post each month. It's not an expensive thing to do, so yeah, have a look on Instagram at Beaches and Birdsong, and if you're interested, I'm sure there'll be another opportunity to sign up for the club along soon. Right, anything else to tell you about on my shop? 2 things actually about my shop. I'm just going to have a little fan because I am very hot. I'm going to have to call it a day very soon because I need a cold drink and a lie down, I think. In June I was lucky enough to be one of the bag makers for the Marie Curie Flower Power Fund. I've spoken about this before. I just wanted to show you a lovely card that I got sent this week from Marie Curie with a lovely note on the back just saying thank you for the donation. We raised I think it was £160 for Marie Curie through the donations that I made from the sale of the bags. So big thank you to you if you purchased one. We made a good contribution to Marie Curie funds, and this was one of the nicest things I've had in the post for such a long time. The note from Liz, who we'd been working with, was just really lovely. It brought a little tear to my eye, I have to say. So yeah, so thank you for allowing me to be able to donate to Marie Curie. The Flower Power Fund runs all year. We're into the August dyers and bag makers and so on. So have a look at, if you're interested in helping out, have a look at what's available this month. And then just wanted to show you a couple of things that are in my shop and going in my shop. I have got some bags in my shop at the moment. Because I am having a bit of a break over August, any orders that are placed between now and the end of the month will be processed the first week in September. And because of that, I am offering a 10% discount in my shop on any purchase using the discount code RECHARGE, because I'm going off to recharge my batteries and get some fresh air. So in the shop at the moment, there's a handful of made to measure options. So things that I've got this as a made to measure option. My little pink haired lady having a walk in the woods. There's a goldfinch, small size goldfinch bag, and another bird bag, I think, is made to order option. I've got some of these still in my shop. So some Midnight Fox, both drawstring and zip options. I really like this fabric. I love the little foxes. I've got a couple of these lovely goldfinch bags. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to pop a couple of sheep bags in the shop over the next couple of days. So, you know, the sheep bags. The other thing that's not going to be in the shop before until September is this new bag. So on the theme of the garden bird again, is this lovely birdie print with a navy blue top and a linen interior. So there will be some of these large size bags going in September. All being well. As it's the school holidays, I have been employing my daughter to cut some fabric for me while I've been out at work in the hospital in the day job. So I've got a nice lot of fabric ready, cut out for me to get to work on when I get back to work in September on the shop. So there will be quite a lot of stuff going in the shop in September, I hope. And on that note, I think that's probably everything I'm going to talk about today. So, thank you so much for watching. It was the usual awkward ums and ahs and bit of conversation with you. I'm not the most eloquent of people. I quite like just sitting in with my own thoughts, and I'm not really a chatty person. So, to sit here for an hour and chat to you is not the easiest thing for me to do, but I enjoy doing it, and you seem to like it, so thank you. I really appreciate you watching. If you have enjoyed watching, it would be really good to give the video the thumbs up, which you can do by hitting the thumbs up button on your screen. The reason why podcasters ask you to do that is twofold. Firstly, the more thumbs up we get, the more we get our podcasts out into the big wide world, and that's really good for us. But also, if you thumbs up a knitting podcast, YouTube will also recommend other knitting podcasts that it thinks you might like. So there's something in it for both of us. So if you fancy it, give it the thumbs up, and come back for more. It'd be really good to see you. So thank you. Have a lovely few crafty weeks, and I will speak to you again really soon. Take care. Bye bye. I forgot to mention this little pile of books here. This is just what I was planning on reading over the summer holidays, and I thought you might quite like to see. So I've got my family. I've got my daughter, who is going to be 18 years old in less than a month, sat on the bed here laughing at me. We will ignore her. So I am in the middle of reading this Rosamunde Pilcher Winter's Solstice. I know lots of people I know lots of people have enjoyed this book. It's one of my mum's favourites. So a couple of summers ago, I read another one of Rosamunde's books, The Shell Seekers. This is so staying in.
No!
The Shell Seekers. She's now throwing things at me. I read The Shell Seekers and really enjoyed that. So, I'm not enjoying this as much as The Shell Seekers, but I plan to finish it when I have my little summer break. And then the other things that I'm bringing with me are the Salt Path. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. It's a year or so old. It's a real true story about a couple who walk the coastal path in southwest England. I'm really going to dash through these because of the interruptions. So yeah, they walk the 630-mile southwest coast path from Somerset to Dorset via Devon and Cornwall, and it just sounds really interesting and probably a bit naturey, which I like. Then I'm going to read this, David Nott, War Doctor. It's another true. It's a memoir about this chap who's a surgeon and his times on the working on the front line in places like Afghanistan and Aleppo and Sarajevo. I heard him on Desert Island Discs a little while ago, and I was listening to it as I was out for a walk on my own during lockdown, and I have to say it brought me to tears while I was out on that walk. So that poignant moment, the soon-to-be 18-year-old goes and it up. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to reading that. She's going in a minute. Then I'm going to read this, which is a work of fiction. Take Nothing With You. It says, Eustace, an only child, is leading a strange existence in a house full of elderly adults. His life changes dramatically with the arrival of Carla Gold, his cello teacher, who casts a heady spell over everyone, including his mother. As Eustace makes new friends through music, he also learns harsh lessons of love, survival and resilience, setting him up for life. I read some really good reviews of this and thought it sounded like rather a good read. And then finally, the book that probably I'm the last person in the world to read is When the Crawdads Sing. Beautiful writing by all accounts, really captivating and magical, so I'm looking forward to that. I have absolutely no expectation that I will read all of these at all. I'm not that fast a reader, but we have got a lot of downtime coming up, and I plan to do more reading than knitting over the summer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to at least getting a good way through that pile. Anyway, so sorry I forgot that, and sorry for the interruptions, but that is so staying in this podcast. Bye.